And we are live. Gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Mecca of Banter podcast. I am this week's host, Henry Wind. You can find me on Twitter at Henry Wind. Coming to you live from a new house, a new backdrop. We got like this deep navy black wall that we're working with for now, not forever, but for now. But I'll say it this week, like I say it every week. It is a great week to be a Manchester United fan. Couldn't be more excited to be here. And couldn't be more excited to talk St. Louis City today because fucking A, fellas, we clinched the number one spot. So we are definitely here to celebrate tonight. We have a lot to get into tonight, a lot of topics, maybe some highly debated topics at that. So let's check in with the fellas. Connor Sindobri, how you doing?
Fellas, what's going on? It's good to see you. Great weekend to be a City fan. Like we all predicted, top of the table, Western Conference champs. Honestly, I feel like this is the first time that I've got to sit down and do a full episode in a month and a half, and the whole squad's here. And I know I'm going to take some shit from United, but I'm very prepared to dish it out as always, fellas. So it's good to be here.
As always, glad to have you, Nick Hayflinger, coming off a big day for the kid. How you doing?
Hey, we take 3 points whenever we can get them, but I'll take them now. Also happy to talk about St. Louis City. I love clinching first place. Haven't seen the top of a table in a while, so down to talk about it.
Here we go, brother. Here we go. Lucas Winkleman, how you doing?
What's up, gentlemen? After that Liverpool loss this weekend, I'm feeling good in second right now, and City dropping points. So I'm stoked to talk about that game as well as St. Louis City, just like you guys. Yeah, boys, this is gonna be a good one.
Now, getting to the main card of the night, checking in with the two fellas representing each corner, Andy Hoover and the Tottenham Hotspurs. How we doing?
I'm absolutely buzzing. I mean, not only did I pick up 6 points this weekend, I banged some bets. I got to watch all of it live with my friends. I'm buzzing. This has been the most excited I've been for a podcast yet. So, yeah.
Fuck yeah. And probably on the opposite side of the table, someone who's not super excited to be on the podcast tonight, Ryan Butchart. How we doing?
Fellas, great to be back, and I will say I watched the game with Hoove and Dobes, and, Hoove and I, mutual respect. I gave him a nice handshake at the end, even though the referee was full of shit. It wasn't a great result, but credit to you, Hoove. You got 3 points, brother. Congratulations.
Man, that's a lot more gracious than I was anticipating, but we'll take it.
Yeah. I was expecting a lot of negligence in that intro. So,
I think full strength we win 4-1.
Fucking A, man. I don't know on what grounds you have that thought.
We'll never know.
We'll never
we will
know.
get to that here in a second. Before we dive into this week's weekly recap, fellas, we got to start with St. Louis City. We mentioned it in the intro, but after this weekend's results between us and also Real Salt Lake, we clinched first in the conference, which, as Connor said, we all saw that coming. We all saw that coming from the very beginning.
There's someone on record on this podcast that said we win first year. So, and I'm pretty sure it was me. And when we check the tape later, I want that to be known. So,
also want it to be known that Missouri is 100% red, and it's not
so red.
It's like North London, my boy.
Freaking.
Okay, let's get into it. So this weekend we have a massive victory over Kansas City, which always feels good to play them, always feels good to beat them. A little bit nervy of a first 65, 70 minutes before we found the net a bunch of times. What were y'all's thoughts on this game?
Dude, we sustained some pressure, man, for some decent moments of that game. You guys remember, KC had 3 or 4 huge chances.
We did too, though.
Berkey stood on his head a little.
Both keepers until the end of the game.
Yeah.
Vasilev had that shot right, or I guess kind of finagled across their 2 center backs and took that left-footed shot. The keeper made the save with his elbow. We had a couple big chances too, though. I sorry to interrupt you, Butchie, but even before all that happened, when we saw the lineups and I saw Big Sam and Klauss playing up top together, I don't think we've seen that yet, and I was super intrigued to see what that was going to be like. But I feel like it kind of worked. I know we've talked about it before, but we've tried so many different formations and rotations of players, and whether that would be a good or bad thing going into the playoffs. But what do you guys think about that duo specifically?
The second half definitely better than the first. The first half
was
was figuring it out.
brutal.
I also think that like those are two guys. One, Big Sam's rapid, and then Klaus is that sort of hybrid of like great on the ball but can make those dynamic runs in behind. And in the second half, Kansas City just looked gassed, and all it took was like Big Sam putting some pressure on. Like
Yeah, floated
three,
balls.
yeah, three of the goals we scored were like we pressed them high up. They made mistakes. We won the ball back, so it worked. I'm just a little concerned that like against a good team in a first half like that, like we may end up being down with the chance to be conceded. But then again, like I'm happy with it. I really like Big Sam. He's come on. Like I didn't think he was going to be this type of player. Like
Yeah.
3 times after seeing him, and then it's nice to see Klaus back scoring goals. So far I'm happy with it. But we got to keep doing it with those two up there.
What a great second finish by him. I mean, the second goal was great.
gross.
That was insane. Like
That was a crazy goal.
it's already like they're going through the like goals of the match day or whatever. It's technically the most difficult goal of the 4 listed and one of the most difficult goals of this year, bro. Like I don't even know if he tried to lift it up on purpose or not, but when he did not stutter for a second. He was like, "Oh, I got a window." Like
Yeah.
I think it was more so it caught everyone so off guard that he took that it the save or the attempt at a save on the replay, guy wasn't within 3 feet of it. Like he wasn't even close. He was rooted. So
That was an acting.
That's why his jersey is one of the top selling in the MLS this
number
year.
2,
For a
put that on my
reason.
set.
Crazy.
For a reason.
Put that on my set.
Yeah.
I'm worried about them together combining because I think we saw the fruits of AZ's efforts on the counter press and things like that. But God, we look great on a set piece. Like you find you
dude.
got some,
We have all season.
you got big bodies in there, and Lowen completely underrated on the game. Had
He's
3
gross,
assists. Are you
He's
kidding
gross.
me?
Yeah.
He was so
Lowen's
gross.
by far our best player, and he shows it.
Yeah,
day in, day out.
it's kind of crazy. But, to your point, like, I think that I am a little bit worried about Klaus and Sam's ability to play together. That first half really was so brutal. It's just
It was
not
tough.
fluid. And I think the opponent really matters. Giacchini can provide a little bit more like link up play than Big
Yes.
Sam can. So if we're playing against a team, truthfully, like I think if we're playing against a team that sits in a low block, that's where you play Giacchini because he can have those intricate link up plays where Big Sam just isn't that guy. There's a couple of times early on in the first half where like AZ was looking to combine quickly or Indiana was looking to combine quickly and Sam just isn't that. But if we're looking to spring a counterattack, like I think that might be the right way to go.
I don't want Klauss taking that 10 role either. He needs to be up on he needs to be higher up the pitch.
Right. He's such a good link up 9 that just doing that at the 10 just it kind of wastes his ability. But another big shout out, and like I'm actually glad. Hoove, I'm assuming you tweeted this, but Markanic at the left back position it's never going to be this sexy pick because Klauss has 2, Lone has 3 assists, Berkey has massive saves. He put in a shift at left back. He was unbelievable.
He was
the whole
unreal.
game.
So much fun, and like we've called it out all year. The 2 weakest spots on our pitch, on our field, are the wing backs. And they pulled this kid from MLS Next Pro in Colorado, and he's a bona fide left back. He was getting up and back so well. He was holding the ball up, like the intensity too. Like he was getting in kids' faces. Like, nah, put that in my veins.
Football too, for sure.
Yeah.
I think the one thing I want to mention about the game is I know Hoove and I were sitting towards the end. We went in the second half, and you got to shout out the Lewigans or whoever made the tifo because the tifo
was great.
The tifo
unbelievable.
The tifo was unbelievable.
Yeah, they just continue to do great things as a club. I got the opportunity. I got the opportunity before the game to actually go down to pitch side I forget what the club is even called down low. It's like 400 tickets. They're all season ticket holders, which is also crazy. It's not like one-off VIP packages. So it's all of these like season ticket holders. And down there, like Gerard Kraft has a restaurant. He like caters a bunch of stuff in there. They rotate all of these different chefs every single match day. There's like food and drink, and then you go out into the players' tunnel, right where they walk out, and you get to go stand and sit pitch side, which is incredible. So shout out to Matt Seebeck for making that happen, Chief Experience Officer. And if you haven't taken an opportunity to listen to his City Voice podcast, it really is incredible. Like, he is the man, and his team is behind making the experiences what they are. And while like he can't take credit for the tifo that you just mentioned, Dobes, that's the kind of stuff that the club always encourages to make the fan experience the best that it can possibly be. So shout out to that, and that opportunity was insane.
Big shout out to him. I think the experience at City Park is always electric, so I think he does a great job.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that the Flying Monkeys were each of them were like after a different supporters group?
Really?
Like the Lugans had like what is the group that has like the wrestling masks? Like
the luchador ones?
Yeah.
With the luchador on it. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's so sick. I dig that. Now the other wingback, Nerwinski, had a game too.
Hey,
dude, we're here for it.
Dude, he came out of nowhere. He's just like, I think he's just gotten caught out less. Maybe he's taking less of a risk. I do think Carnell likes to shift Markanich, and when it was Watts on the right, he likes to let the more creative wingback slide up a little more, which I'm totally cool with because, you know, Jake doesn't need to be getting up the field super far. He can whip across. You get him in, you know, the deep part of the other half. Like, he can whip a good cross, but I saw him staying back a little more with Markanich, able to combine with AZ a lot. So, I mean, I like that. You just play the players to their strengths. You know, we were doing just fine when Watts was on the right and Hebert was staying in that third type center back role. So, you know, he's letting these guys be the players that they are. And that's, you know, we've questioned him a couple times, but it's the MLS schedule, and he's gotten it right more often than he hasn't. So,
that's
credit
very
where
true.
it's due.
Yeah, the unfortunate mentioning of Kyle Hebert. He comes on for a couple of minutes, gets caught out at the back post, lets up the only goal.
I was going to say, would have loved a shutout there.
Dude, and the boys would have loved a shutout. I mean, as soon as that ball went in, Berkey and Parker were fucking livid. I mean, even after the full-time whistle blew, Parker was screaming at Kyle Hebert, screaming at Thor, because Thor, like, there was like a clear counterattack that they just had to play the ball like into the corner, and Thor tried to like cut it between two guys, lost the ball, and that's what led to the goal. Parker was beside himself.
I gotta laugh. One of our Butch and I's buddies, Scott Campbell, not a soccer guy at all. He took both teams to score. And so at the very end of the game, my group chat just started blowing up because I kept just being like, I want a zero so bad. I want a zero. And instantly after they scored, he was just like, let's fucking go.
That's so funny. That's hilarious. The last, I feel like we have to give a shout to Nilsson as well. I know I texted it in the group chat, but it's very rare that we throw the phrase Rolls Royce around. You know, I think some people throw it around a little bit too willy-nilly. But when you watch him in relation to the rest of the MLS, he is so even. He's so even-keeled. Like, he has every attribute that you want in a center back, and he just keeps getting better with more fitness. So I'm excited to watch him as we get into crunch time in the playoffs.
We can
big shout out.
Let's call him a Cadillac. He's a Cadillac.
And I'm saying it now. I'm starting to. It has to be Josh next to him.
Dude,
I like it. I mean, he's nursing a back injury right now, so as soon as he gets healthy, I mean, maybe we'll see it in the playoffs. But I agree. I think
it'll happen because I think he's going to play Parker, but I think it should be Josh.
It's good to feel as a guy who's supported a lot of teams that have had zero center back depth. It feels so good to have Josh at least, you know, on the bench if needed, injury issue, and we don't lose a step with him coming in. So that makes me feel good.
I think with we talked about it earlier with Big Sam and Klauss up top on set pieces. Like, Timmy provides a dangerous head as well.
Yeah, he does.
On set pieces, but like with those two, like I think having Josh there, like, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think it's personnel. I think it's who you play, and especially when we get the opportunity to play against a low block, I think Josh is the guy to break things down. He's not afraid to play a long ball. He's not afraid to break it down. So we'll see. I don't have a whole lot of trust that Cardinel's going to make that move, but we'll see.
Also, I'll be the one to say it. Stroud doesn't start, comes off the bench, provides a goal. Hey.
And an assist, bro.
Hey.
Goal and an assist.
Hey, when
Jared
he's not
Stroud.
playing 90 and he's a sub, I'm all for it. I'm there.
Well, we've said it from the beginning. He's one of the best players on the team.
In the world.
Do you guys watch the Kevin Nacho guy or whatever, the Sporting KC guy? The
No.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's hilarious, bro. I respect the
unbelievable.
content. Yeah.
He is so unbelievable. But when Jared Stroud scored his goal, like if you don't remember, it was the defender that had the ball like on the goal line that tried to clear the ball
Straight
the
to
top
him.
of the box, and it went like straight to him or whatever. And
Hey,
the Kevin Nacho guy was like, he literally paused his stream. He was like, "Wait a minute. This is 2 games in a row that this defender did this. What the fuck is going on?" Like, literally 2 weeks in a row. And I can't wait. I can't wait for the end of like this season of like every goal that St. Louis City has scored to like, you know, in one YouTube video, just see how many defensive mistakes have led to goals for us. Like, it's unbelievable.
We're never gonna beat those allegations. And again, you make your own luck a lot of times in this game, but we have gotten so many easy ones, dude. We can probably chalk up locking down the top spot in the West due to 4 to 5 back passes that ended up in the net.
You still got to capitalize on them though.
Yeah, Kippy Keller, bro.
Kippy Keller never saw another MLS minute this season after that game. But you just mentioned it, the number 1 overall spot. How significant is clinching the number 1 overall spot to the fan base as an expansion team? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
It's everything.
Huge. I think home field advantage is going to be so huge for us in the playoffs. I think Dodes mentioned it last podcast, but us clinching the 1 and having a lot of games at City Park that are going to be playoff games, like, we've all raved about the atmosphere of City Park during the regular season. Can you only imagine what it's going to be like in
I can't even imagine.
Like,
I think it's going to be unbelievable.
It's going to be so insane. And I think the players, obviously, we continue to talk about it. The style of play that we play, the energy that the park brings, like, feeds into it when we high press. So, like, I think it's going to be so awful as an away side to come to City Park and try to play in a playoff atmosphere.
I agree. I hope the supporter section will be every bit of rowdy.
You guys have been to other playoff games in St. Louis. Like,
yeah.
It's just different. It's just always different. And like,
we've compared the regular season games to playoff games in other sports in terms of just pure electricity and, you know, tempo and volume and other things. That this is going to be. You know, if anybody's listening that isn't necessarily a soccer fan or is now and hasn't been to a game yet, it's going to blow your mind seeing
it's
or whether you went to a regular season game like that. It's just going to be different.
We're going to be on the Footy Limbs Twitter account with a goal in the playoffs, bro. I promise. There's going to be bodies everywhere.
You know, speaking of that, like, this might be an obscure stat, but we haven't had a pitch invader yet this season, which I'm kind of surprised about, but we haven't had it.
It's because Hoover's season tickets are up in
I'm in the second section.
Did you see the way Hoover's face lit up when you said that?
He's like, oh shit, you're right.
I was going to say, Hooves like one more Coca-Cola away from screaming that field, bro.
Dude, I was 8 rows up last week. Dobes and I had different seats, and I was like 2 rows over the people below me, like cheering and yelling at people taking corners. I was too close.
The game got on, the more I felt bad for the people around us.
Yeah, at least in my section, everyone's aware of it, and you know they all
know now.
They've all come around to it, but.
I only feel bad they're not having as good of a time as you are.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
Like if you want to go and sit down and enjoy the sport, go to a baseball game.
I watched enough Wrexham this year, and the limbs on those away fans, and they be doing the like 2-finger thing
Oh, yeah.
at the.
Fuck you. Yeah.
I've changed. I'm English now. I'm just full blown.
Just Welsh.
I'm just a Welsh.
I'm just a Welshman, Aaron Ramsey, whatever. So we have 2 games left. We have Wednesday, and then we take a 15-day hiatus before our last game of the season. It's something like that. It's crazy. We don't play until I think the 21st after Wednesday. So we have a little bit of time in between the second to last and then the last game of the regular season, and then we have playoffs, which we're learning what the playoff schedule looks like.
Knows?
Yeah. We're not going to play in the wild card round. The winner of the wild card round we will face at City Park, I believe October 28th or 29th, around then.
That's when that's when the first game is.
So then we may not even play till after that because of
that's the first game of the round we would play in.
Okay, so we'll be taking a team who could have just played 2 off the bounce, fresh, basically at home, and then that goes 3 games unless you win 2, and it is 90 minutes straight to pens up until the semifinals. So that's kind of wild, and I feel rather American, but what are you going to do? Win it. Go on.
Go on. Here we go. And we charge on. All for City, fellas. All for City.
Yes. Up the town.
Uptown. Shall we move into a weekend recap? We have some. First off, before we even talk about any fixtures, what a weird weekend of results. There were some results that like really surprised me. There are some which we'll get into that didn't surprise me at all, but some really weird stuff. But starting off, Lucas, how about you kick us off with a big 4-0 win over Bournemouth?
007.
Also, shout out before you start talking, big L. Tyler Adams injured again. Same hamstring, same injury. Came back too early, and he's officially out for quite some time per the manager, which is
too many games,
the worst.
Man.
Too many games, and then he came back too early.
Yeah.
So pour one out for Tyler tonight, and Lucas.
I had several conversations about both him and other player injuries this week with people outside of the Mecca, and just all of us were talking throughout the entire week about just what we've talked about in that these guys are just playing too many games, being forced back, or they want to be back for their club so badly that they're coming back too early in the case of Tyler Adams. And I don't know if that's ever going to change with the money that the clubs and everybody involved is getting from all these extra games, but it definitely sucks to see. But I hope that the Arsenal Bournemouth game was one of the ones that you were expecting to happen like it happened. I know it was for me. But we spanked Bournemouth 4-0 away. We didn't need them in my opinion, and I kind of wish we would have rested them, but glad that Saka, Declan, and Saliba were able to play comfortably with their recent knocks. I know that I saw a video of Saliba walking into their stadium with kind of like a limp, and I was like, "There's no way like he's gonna play today or anything." And then we see him out there, and I went over to Dobes' place before Butchie and Hoove got over there to watch the Arsenal game, United game, and the Ryder Cup all at the same time. And when we were kind of watching it, it was weird. Like Bournemouth looked completely like a championship level team in every way. It was tough because I was like trying to watch that, trying to watch United lose, and then trying to watch the United States hopefully come back. But Saka scored the first goal early on, and I was like, okay, just fucking take him off now. He scored, like get him off the field. He started his Premier League game, his streak's still alive. Like just get him off, let him rest. And naturally, they didn't do that. But I think he scored like a header rebound off of a Gabby Jesus shot off the crossbar, And then Bournemouth had 2 awful challenges on Nketiah and Odegaard inside their own box. Super aggressive tackle attempts, like championship level tackle attempts in their own box when they had a few guys either behind the ball still or guys around the 6-yard box that would have been able to block or intercept passes. So I have no idea what they were thinking, but both were refreshingly easy pens for the referees to call, unlike some of the other games we saw both this weekend and so far this season, but moved us into second place after Liverpool's loss. And as much as I hate it when Tottenham wins, if it moves us up the table, I'll allow it. And then also happy that City dropped points, obviously, hoping we can keep that unbeaten streak alive and take advantage of it against City without Rodri and KDB next weekend, and potentially Stones and Bernardo Silva too. They're showing as maybes right now. They both had knocks in that loss against Wolves last weekend too. So as as much as I hate all of our teams being so injury ridden so early in the season, I hopefully we just take advantage of it. But good
time.
win.
Kai fucking out there ducking the 007 allegations, bro. Barely,
Yeah, man, that was
with this pity pen.
Yeah, that was definitely a pity pen. You asked if it was, and I immediately said absolutely. But like, if he was on your team, like I would want one of my guys to give him the pen, and like I follow all of our guys on social media, and several of them like posted selfies with Kai after the game, like just singing his praises about how hard he like. There was an interview with Declan after the game, and he was talking about like how very few people work as hard as him in training, and like he just like he needed that, and it was so cool to see everybody go over to him after he scored, and just like the environment and like the the culture in our clubhouse right now is just phenomenal, and that nobody's getting left behind.
The context of the text you sent too, though, was no context. Kai, classy finish, never a doubt in my mind. And I was like, "Oh, he did it. He scored." And then I like rolled over in bed and checked FOTMob, and it was a pen. I was like, "Ah!"
You watch now. He's going to be rolling. He just needed to get his feet wet.
You think?
I know.
I don't.
Hey, Winks.
He scores one goal every year.
Winks, good analysis. There was a word you used like 4 times, and that word was championship level. And I just wanted Nick to get used to saying that word next year when his team's done.
Sorry,
bro.
I thought I was going a completely different direction with another definition of the word championship, but that one is way better, and I love that.
Love you, bro.
Butch is back on the pod taking absolute shots.
His team took some back shots on over the weekend. So.
Hey, Winks, before we move on from
hey yo,
hey yo,
his team, not mine, man.
Before we move on from Arsenal, do you want to give a little preview of the City Arsenal game coming up? Like thoughts on it? Anything you're worried about? Like it's a huge fixture for you all. I mean, last year, just to set the scene. Not that anyone needs reminding, but last year this was the game. This was like the season-defining game. I know it was the second fixture that was, but like the whole season played on the success or failure of this game. What 4 months ago, 6 months ago, whatever it was. So how are you feeling moving into this one?
Yeah, I mean, both teams have a lot of injuries, and. I know I just talked about the 4 guys who might not be there, but it's going to be a good game. I was just looking. I genuinely don't even know if it's home or away. It's home, so that's obviously really good in our favor. And arguably City's 2 top players in Rodri and KDB both being unavailable helps us, but City's still such a deep team, but thankfully this year, different than most, like we're deeper than we've ever been. As much as I would like Timber to be there to be able to play in this game, he's not going to be. And Martinelli, I think, is going to be out. Partey should be out as well. Also, congrats to him. Him and his gal are announced their pregnancy. But
which one?
Who?
Thomas Partey.
Which girl?
Wait, what?
Yeah, they posted like pregnancy pics. So
Huh?
the one that he's claiming.
How
Huh.
how long they've been together?
Buddy, I don't know shit about
We
that.
need
I don't follow him. The only girlfriend that I follow that closely is Kiwior's girlfriend.
Why is that?
She's the world twerking champion.
Oh, dude, she is.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, I don't think she's as good looking as Regulon's lady. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
You said
Smoke.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be a very close game. I think that we could have the advantage being at home, and with them coming off of a loss and us coming off of a big win, I think that we'll both have Butch and Nick and Hoove, close your ears. But we have a Champions League match this week, and so we'll see how that kind of momentum carries us into the weekend. But I think we're in a good position with those three guys I mentioned earlier being back.
Mr.
it's
Jacob
been
Krupp.
years
this past
since we've had one
weekend.
of those.
The Jacob Krupp will be in attendance at the Emirates. So
No
Shut
way.
up. That's so sick.
Cruppy.
I
Cruppy
might
is
have to
going to
look
be.
at flights. I'm pretty sure Southwest flights are still 50% off. Right
Cruppy's going to be in the building. You just got to be prepped to pay more for that ticket than the flight itself. So,
Yeah.
Worth
Damn.
it.
That's nuts. Good
That's
for
it.
him.
But
Quick poll, fellas. Who do we think wins this game?
City.
You know, earlier Wink said something about back shots. I think City's going to be hitting back shots all over Arsenal in this game, bro. You know,
Man?
bro. I think,
right now.
huh? Dude, I think
The pot is unhinged right now.
I think Pep is. I think after losing, I think the worst case scenario for you, Winks, was Man City losing this weekend.
I completely agree with you, Butch.
I don't see them losing two games in a row.
2-2.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who
I'm
they
with
were
Dubs.
playing this week.
I'm
They're
going 2-2.
dropping.
I think it's a
Doesn't
draw.
matter who they're playing. They were going to lose this week. They're going to come out and put on a performance.
Bro, but I
they
don't
still
know.
got a mid-game week as well to go through.
I know that it wasn't
Ooh,
like
you're
their
right.
full lineup, but
Right.
watching the backup options with no Rodri is just like, dude, it's game changing.
Not the
Like,
same.
City is still City, but like that's why I'm going with a draw. Like the Emirates, City not being full strength. I'm thinking like 1-1 or 2-2.
Do we have Mr. John Stones on the bench? Is he still injured?
Stonesy might be back.
Him and Silva are both questionable right now, but we know how that is.
Yeah.
Bro, if Stones plays in midfield,
Yeah.
I think that changes a lot.
I do too.
I need more John Stones in midfield stuff, bro. That was
Me too.
That was the most fun month ever.
Of him just being
Of him
the
just
best
being a
midfielder in the world.
world-class center mid and just forgetting that he's a center back.
I'd love to look back at pods
he lived all of our
from
dreams.
that month and
Yeah.
listen to you talk about Tottenham and see if that was really the best
The
month.
highlight. Yeah.
Sure, buddy.
I'll go a 2-1 City win. 2-1.
I'm with you, Hen. 2-1.
2-1.
I think Doku makes Ben White his bitch.
Same.
Absolute bitch. All game long, bro.
It ain't saying much, but it ain't hard to do.
If Rashford can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Hey.
At this moment in time. All right, moving on. Speaking of Rashford, Dobes, hit us with what was the 1-0 loss to Crystal Palace after beating them midweek.
Truthfully, I don't really have a ton to say. I had like Wink said that I had the boys over. We had 3 TVs going. I had the Ryder Cup on the main one and United on the small one in the corner. So I did watch some of it. I think the
Shows a lot.
We're really ducking a lot of the emotion out of this.
Yeah, I was
with
gonna
you guys
say,
watching
wow.
the Ryder Cup.
it's not too much emotion. It's kind of one of those. It's like we don't have a single healthy left back on the roster. Like it's no necessarily excuse to like lose to Crystal Palace and not score a goal. But what's different to start this season that was such our strength last season was we were like, even though we did score a ton of goals, like we were built on our back four. Like our back four, when healthy, with Luke Shaw, Martinez, Varane, and Wan-Bissaka, like that's how we were built. And we've had so much rotation right now in our back four that, like, yes, we need to score goals. Yes, Rashford needs to do more. Yes, we need more out of Højlund. Yeah, we got to do more going forward. But at the same time, like, not only do we like give up the goal, but we concede so many fucking chances. It's not even funny. It's like, even if it was just 1-0, like it could have been worse. And yeah, we should have had a few, but I think what is worrying to me is the lack of depth now that we have in the back line total. And now the news came that Martinez is out, and he's another one that like he's a definition of a product of played too many games. Even though I kind of blame the United training staff because he was never fully healed and he started playing again. But I don't know, man. We're in kind of that situation right now where things have been bad. I'm not necessarily sort of like the panic button has maybe entered the house. It hasn't necessarily entered the room.
Still in the
Uh,
glass.
yeah, it's the glass is out on the front porch, but I don't know. It's like we're a string of games of consistent wins back like in a row from being just fine. I think we're only like 9 points from top four, and we know just how quick things can swing. But
Damn.
Tomorrow's a massive game for the Champions League. So if we can win two this week, like go into another international break on a high note, like I think we'll be just fine. We'll keep getting healthy. Mayno's back in training. Anthony's back in training. So like things are positive, but we got to end the skid eventually.
Yeah, 100%. I thought that this was the stretch of games that we were going to just take 9
Well, and we
points.
bodied them midweek too, like
Yeah.
bodied them.
Yeah. The thing is too is like the goal that they scored, you tip your cap on. I mean, I don't know
It's
if you all
very
went
cool.
back and like watched it, but it was a fucking rocket. It was whatever. You tip your cap on it, but the lack of production on the offensive side of things is concerning. That it's just not coming. You mentioned that the back line. We don't have the depth there. We played our front six. Like we played our front six that we wanted to play. So like if you would have asked me how we should have lined up that game, that's exactly how we should have done it.
I would have started Garnacho, I think, over Police Tree.
Yeah, Police Tree didn't have a great game. I agree. And Garnacho will probably start tomorrow. We'll probably see that happen. But I was really underwhelmed with the performance, and I think we should have bodied them yet again, especially at home. We went through that stretch of like 30 something games where we didn't lose at home, and now we've lost twice at home this season. It is concerning. It's not great to see, and the boys need to bounce back heavily.
So now that Dobes is back on the pod, I can ask the question again after another loss from United.
Oh shit!
But is it panic button yet? I mean, you were asking me, and now we're only a point off from you guys.
Miss everything I said. I literally referenced the panic button 3 times. Like, where have you been?
Classic.
I literally
just wanted to ask
I said the panic button is not in the house, but it's on the front porch.
Here's my my question that I don't know if it's banter, but maybe. We're watching teams like Brighton and Villa who are playing like really well and showing a lot of really high quality stuff. Where do you guys see yourself closing the gap? They're in 5th and 6th, both with 15 points. Like, what needs to happen?
Truthfully, I'm not necessarily concerned about either of them. Like, I'm more concerned about a Liverpool, a Tottenham. Like, I think if we hit our stride, I just mean what I mean by that is
last year.
I'm terrified of Villa. I always am.
But what I mean by that is I don't necessarily see Villa or Brighton or any of those teams. Like, yes, they're good teams. We just saw Brighton at the weekend. Like, those teams, I think, are going to eventually continue to drop points. And if United can get healthy and we can go on a run, like we saw it last year. It's like we didn't start great. Yes, we have a way worse start this year. But at the same time, like once we get back, like I'm not even talking Martinez, like a Luke Shaw, an Aaron Wan-Bissaka, like, and we have sort of a full 11, like I'm fully confident that we can go on a run of winning 5, 6, 7 games in a row. But then again, like we don't have time to waste. I just don't necessarily think I trust Villa. I'm more scared of Newcastle, to be fair, than a Villa or Brighton in terms of top 4 race. But like you're right, we don't have time to waste.
Yeah, we definitely
You're
don't.
still thinking it's a top 4 race for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I picked us to finish 3rd. Yeah, I mean, like we I think we've only won 3 out of our first 7, so it's not a great start. But like at the same time, like we have the capability of like we have one of the most expensive squads in the world, like fully healthy. Like we're great, and I honestly think you guys are gonna think I'm crazy. Like I think Anthony's going to make a massive difference for us when he comes back, just in terms of the work rate he provides.
Yeah, dude.
What do you
Cutting
do?
inside on his left every time.
I mean,
Huge impact, bro.
He's got a mean left hook, bro.
You guys,
Jesus.
at the same time, like his work rate back is triple Marcus Rashford's, and I mean triple, quadruple even. So it's like we do miss that. So we'll see.
We will see. Okay, let's move on to the main ticket event of the weekend. The main ticket. We have to my surprise today, finding out it was a 2-1 victory for Tottenham. I would have given you all of my money in my bank account that game finished 1-1. I had no idea that Tottenham won. So let's hear it, fellas. Let's hear it. Gloves are off. Let's start coming out swinging.
Hoove, take your moment, bro. Go ahead.
I don't even know. No, because Liverpool has made it their moment, brother. Every single time this happens to a club will complain. Like the fans always complain. It only becomes a diplomatic. It only becomes a diplomatic issue when Liverpool's involved. It's in the freaking courts the next day because Liverpool got hosed on a call. But every other team just is supposed to accept an apology and move on.
I'd rather lose to Crystal Palace than beg for a replay.
Did I have no? Here's where I'm at. They got a call wrong. They've acknowledged it. It was wrong. I'm willing to accept that. It would have it changed the outcome of the game. Who knows? It definitely plays out in a different fashion. I don't care at all. Like I've been needing one of these wins, one of these dodgy calls that Spurs gets. We've become media darlings in the last month because we have an Australian manager. No one's ever given a shit about Tottenham Hotspur. So, the pity, I have no pity for Liverpool fans. You guys have titles and stuff. You guys are the giant club that we're little old Tottenham. So, no, I'm taking this one as a win for the small guys. They played as well as they could against 9 men. Comparatively, if we're going to be talking like that, right? People are like, oh, they needed 2 red cards and a called back pen to beat 9 guys. No, bro, beating 9 guys is hard. There's way more space and gaps.
There was a stat about the last 10 games that there's been a red card, and I think it was 2 teams scored going against down again, or less than that. I think it was.
It obviously changes the way that the game plays out, but it doesn't make the attacking part of the job easier on the players. It makes it way harder. You guys had 9 guys behind the ball and weren't looking to open up chances, which you guys did admirably for, the entirety of being down a man or 2. I thought it's really unfair on Joel Matip. I felt bad personally. The only person I feel bad for is Joel Matip. As a defender, he did everything he possibly could to not let that happen, and then he was the direct reason that it did. So I think that's unfair for a defender. The result, who are we asking Ange to apologize? No, bro. No one on outside of, the red side of that stadium is upset at all. You saw the scenes. It was mental. Again, it's been so much fun. They leave it late. It's great. I love it. Why not? But yeah, you everything you're going to say is going to be correct, except for the fact where you're like, well, we deserve a point, or I want to replay, because that's mental.
I'm not going to bring up anything about a replay, anything like that. Okay. I don't want it. It is what it is.
Stop this right now. I'm not doing
They came on here before this.
Hey, I said Liverpool Twitter wanted a replay. I didn't say I wanted a replay. Get your facts straight. All right. Muzzy McMuzzerson. Hold on. I'm gonna say my points. Okay. And I think we can all agree Alisson is the best goalie in the league.
It's fact.
Yes. I can agree to that.
Did you watch the game?
I can agree to that. I'm willing to accept that. Yeah.
He said, "Kepa, bro,
the best Prem goalie of all time."
Brother, he had 3 saves when we were down a player that were just unjustifiably. I don't know how he did it, to be honest. He had that one save diving to his right. Who remember when we went freaking absolute apeshit in the basement?
Yeah. That one, he
It was
caught one.
unbelievable.
Like, he caught one that should have been just pushed out to the side. He just grabbed
Oh, yeah.
it. And
He's unreal, man, and he kept us in that game, no doubt. Because I mean, we were playing a 5-3 in the field with literally just sitting back. Like, we didn't send anybody up the last 17, 20 minutes of the game. Once Jota decided to be a dumbass and get his second yellow card, but that's my first point. Allison's the best goalie in the league. My second point, I thought Soboslai is an absolute gladiator, bro. That dude is so good. So good. We go down 2 guys, and then he's like, all right, I'm just going to go full on defensive mode here. And he was clearing everything out, making runs, running his socks off. So he's just been balling out. But
Can I ask you a legitimate question?
Sure.
I feel like the Szoboszlai hype has been so overrated. We have Twitter literally comparing him to Steven Gerrard, saying that he's the heir to Steven Gerrard, and he's played 7 games, and I think that this isn't even a question. This is just a statement. I think that Szoboszlai is getting. I was going to start with a question, then I was like, I'm just going to tell you what I think. Szoboszlai is getting so highly rated because you all have been without a solid midfielder for 2 seasons.
But I was wrong about him. I think he's a baller.
I think he's good.
I think he's
I really do, bro. I think he's a
don't
baller.
Don't get me wrong. I think he's a baller too. I said this when you got him. I said that was a fantastic signing, but literally saying we found the heir to Steven Gerrard, and there's graphics of him wearing the 8, and dude, I think the hype of him is so overrated.
I think Soboslai is a baller, but people saying he's Stevie G, they are geriatrics, my brother. Geriatrics, my brother. You cannot compare a kid to Steven Gerrard after 8 games. I agree. There's no way.
He only needs 1 title to have more titles.
Oh my God,
True.
bruh.
Bruh.
I'm not bringing you Zins tomorrow, bro. All right.
I'm not doing it, bro.
Hey, but I agree, Henry. I don't think that you should be compared, and I think that's bad for a kid like that's ego. You know what I mean? Don't feed stuff into his brain. Hopefully, he's not reading that shit. You don't want that pressure on you. 22-year-old kid, first season. You don't want that. But he is a great player. I will say he's a great player. Did you see his banger last week, midweek?
Oh
Yeah.
Hit the shit out of the ball.
Freaking missile. But
Gerrard could never.
oh my God, dude. Dude.
You got a catalog
But,
of them.
I will say this, Hoove, your first goal was class, man. Your first goal, that through ball to Rishi, and Rishi squared it to Sonny. That was that was Ange ball at its finest,
Yeah. This Madison guy.
Yeah.
He,
Turns out he's a good player.
It turns out when you take the best player off of Leicester and put him on a team with players way better than the players on Leicester, he gets even better. So, he's been. I mean, you always have high hopes for players when you sign them, and obviously everyone in this group chat would have taken him on their team. This is the stuff you dream of. He's completely revolutionized that midfield, which to in my opinion is strong as is. And he's just immediately placed himself as the best of the 3 and is balling. But at the end of the day, the worst part about all of this is the fact that VAR and wholeheartedly changed the outcome of that game. I'm willing to accept as a fan that it sucks. I'm not gonna complain that I picked up 3 points, but this just comes back to literally every time we get on the podcast and have a question about a call. And that one was a human error.
Which is
every week. And I saw some guy phrased it really well, and he was like, they knew they messed up. The call on the field was the VAR booth thought that the team on the pitch called the goal as a goal. So when they checked into VAR up top didn't know that they had actually called it offsides on the field, and they just straight away said check complete.
Jesus,
bro, how do you not see the flag?
They're not even you had to have
Like, do they
not been
not watch
watching the
it?
game. Yeah, I truthfully have no idea.
It's crazy.
But someone praised it like, they fucked up. They knew they fucked up, but then instead of correcting it, they just agreed to go with the rules that were in place for the VAR that were placed in place only 4 years ago. So it comes into a conversation of
So
like,
fucking confusing.
it comes into a conversation of like, what rules are we protecting when we change the rules a lot? So it's going to lead to something happening. Something has to happen. It's bad for the league. The fact that they voted off the like semi-automated offsides thing is not great. It worked so well at the World Cup, and it was just definitive. Like there was just an answer every single time that you was like, "Oh, that was close," And sometimes it's still subjective as to where you're drawing your lines, but it sucks that in the gravity of the moment that it changed the game. I'm amped, but
It's not going to change how I feel about
as a
it.
football fan, objectively, whoa.
I'm in the Pulisic camp of just scrap VAR.
Just scrap it. I mean, let's go back to human error. That's just way more fun.
Let's get mad at referees versus get it wrong after the fact already.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Nick, round us out, man. You tasted victory today. 2-0 and some big goals from some big players.
Yeah, it feels good.
Expensive players.
Not too thrilled. Obviously, with the injuries, I think our podcast has now just turned into an injury report. Mudryk came off at halftime with apparently hamstring. Broja came off as well with apparent injury, and so did Caicedo. So we had 3 guys come off with injuries during the game, all hoping that they're okay. Mudryk getting on the score sheet, I think, is huge. Obviously, Henry alluded to it before the podcast. He didn't even know we played today. So I'm assuming none of you guys really watched. But
I watched it.
It was a nice cross into him, chest settled it down, and then Meg the keeper. So
he looked like he was going to cry as he was celebrating. I think he was the happiest man in the world.
I think everyone was. I think we were all thrilled that he finally got on the score sheet. You could see it. It's funny. My favorite reaction to Mudryk's goal is Enzo and Caicedo's reaction. Like Enzo immediately turns and just like screams at Caicedo, and they like embrace each other. And I think it was just like overall seeing a ball go in the net for the side. Like I think that kind of sparked something, because then 90 seconds later, Broja got on the score sheet as well. I will say it was a Tim Ream fault. Those are few and far between, but he kind of kicked it into Broja and it just went in the net. So, hey, we'll take them as they go. But like I said before, not thrilled about the injuries, but we'll take 3 points where we can get them.
Yeah, and Fulham's no walk in the park, so you guys beat a good team.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
Fulham away, Derby. I'll take it.
Fulham looked horrible, to be totally fair, because they've had some quality play in the last couple of weeks, but no, that I thought it was funny watching Mudryk. Like I was like watching the goal and like analyzing like his face just to see what he would do. I don't think he like could physically comprehend his own emotions. Like there was just no, like he just kind of stared for a while, like didn't really even smile for a second. And was, like it was so many things happening
trying
to him
to hide
in his brain.
And act cool, and then he was
he's like, nah, there's no way.
The motivational crossbar challenge worked.
I know. Fair, like I thought that was kind of interesting. Like maybe it did
give him bro. This guy's making hundreds of thousands a week. He's like, hey, dude, hit the crossbar.
Hey, you never know.
So weird.
Whatever gets the man confidence, I'll take it.
Yeah, he's also a child.
Like, yeah, true. Yeah, he's 19.
He's not. Mudryk's older than 19.
He's 22, bro.
Yeah, he's 22.
Is he really?
Bro, yeah.
Dude, I'm never
know your players.
22.
Right when Butch said it, I believed it.
January 4th, 2001.
Oh.
Yeah. 22 years old.
I mean, I guess my
he's
opinion
a grown
is
ass
child.
What are we talking about? He's 22. Fuck off.
Well, fellas, that has been our weekly recap. And we're combining our next 2 segments into one segment because Butch has something extra special prepped for us. So take us away, Butch, with our factor cap and our 10-minute segment all in the same thing.
Absolutely. So, fellas, you guys are going to work as a team. And for our listeners, this is going to be a English Premier League blind rankings where I have selected 10 of the better players in the league. And you have to rank them 1 to 10, not knowing who is next.
I swear to God, if they're all Liverpool players.
Not knowing who is next.
Joel Matip.
Now, remember, you guys got to work as a group. So we got to vote. Winks is going to put it on the spreadsheet.
Wearing his teacher hat on right now, man.
All right.
Paper.
So-
yeah.
I want you guys can take into account quality, status, all that, whatever you guys want to do.
Are we doing
You say
right
vibes.
now or prime?
We're doing right now, sir. Right now.
That's a good clarification.
Yeah.
All right, your first player, 1 to 10, pick a number, Enzo Fernandez.
I mean,
Okay, can I just say
Yeah.
something? Man played great this week.
okay.
All I'm
No,
saying.
no. I'm starting this out with a rational thought. Whoever was going to come first has to be in the middle. So Enzo Fernandez, unfortunately for all of us, has to just be the bar, right? So
I think
Yeah.
it's 4.
6.
I think I like 6.
6. I'm
Oh,
good with
you
6.
guys think there's gonna be 6 better? Oh, I don't.
Yes, turn to
If Butch said he's picking 10 of the better players in the Premier League,
I'm one.
hold on. For reference, Butch, is this like so far this season? Are we taking last season into account, like current form?
You're just talking player, boy. Enzo
I'm
Fernandez.
talking like you can do current form this year, but also just quality.
Yeah,
Like,
what are we talking about,
Quality.
man?
I think 5.
I think that's even rash. I'm giving him 2-3 if we're being honest.
Oh, I'm fucking
Yeah.
nasty.
See, this is
fuck
a decision because Nick decided to smoke crack before this episode.
What are you talking about? I didn't do that.
I'm okay with 5.
5.
I agree with Hoop. I think he's the bar. Like,
If
Okay,
we're going to look at
All
this
right,
in
I like
a
it.
blind
Well, I
draft,
love this.
bar.
He's a bar.
Yeah. 5.
Yeah,
okay,
5.
are you keeping track of our list for us?
Yeah, I got it.
So
All
we
right.
got Enzo at 5. Your next player is Kairu Matoma.
Ooh.
6.
6.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
6 or 7.
I was gonna say 8.
Yeah.
I
You got it. You guys got to decide on a number.
No shit.
I like 7.
I don't
Yeah,
hate 7.
I think the lower the better, and not because I think he's a bad player, but
Not
I
at
think
all.
that like
I
The
mean,
Premier
we
League
have
is
a
the
lot
best
better
league in the
players.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's
None
not,
of these
he's not-
guys are ballers.
Agreed.
he's not the best left winger, and
I think
there
we
are
put Enzo
10
too
other
high.
positions on the field.
I think we fucked.
So
No.
I love this shit, bro. I love this shit.
Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Nick would want fucking Enzo in 2 and Matoma in 3, and then the next 3 are going to be freaking Rodri, Holland, KDB.
I think 8. I think 7 or 8 for me.
I feel good about an 8, but
I can
I'll
can
concede a
accept
7.
an 8.
Okay, let's go 8.
All right, we're going 8 for Matoma. All right, your next player is Bruno Fernandez.
1.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, see,
One.
yeah, that's where this one's gonna get. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Bruno Fernandez.
Bro, stop that. He could grab Enzo could grab Bruno's wallet. He could clean his boot.
World Cup winner.
Okay. Legitimately.
I'm going 3.
Yeah.
I guess
No
4.
shot you guys are putting Bruno Fernandez at 3.
I'm 4.
4.
I think 4 is good.
4.
No, I think.
Yeah, you think he's 12,
I think he's
but it's
6.
a list of 10.
I think he's 6. You guys really think there's going to be only 3 people better than Bruno Fernandez?
Bruno is elite.
Or
He's an Olympic diver.
The thing is that we don't know who Butch has
Exactly,
chosen. So
Nick.
like
4.
you can throw all right.
You're okay with 4?
We're gonna end with some wild
you guys
players.
pick 4.
Hey, Dobes.
Yeah.
Me personally, I wouldn't let that slide, bro.
Good.
I still think-
you're a coach, you know ball. You probably put him at least 2.
I am out of the discussion. I'm just hosting.
He's the
You guys,
professor.
did you say 4 Winks?
Yeah,
Lock
we're
it.
gonna go 4.
All right, your next player is James Ward-Prowse.
10.
10.
He is so good.
9.
Wait, what did we say? What did we say for?
He has made the Declan Rice role at West Ham look easy.
I'm thinking it's a 9. Do you think Butch
Yeah,
is
oh,
a crazy
shit.
one?
I'm okay with a 9 just because I think
I-
Butch might
I
throw a
know.
wild
We're
card.
gonna
We
but-
just we just haven't seen him at like
You're
the
right.
at
He's
like the
been
top
so
of anything, and I know he has.
You said 9.
Or I think we're gonna go 9 if you guys are cool with that.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude, I
10.
love this shit.
I think 10. I think 10.
Oh.
We're
Okay.
gonna get away. We're gonna.
I'm very okay. I'm very okay with 10 as well.
I don't think
10 was my
feel
gut.
like-
He's definitely 10 or 9. He's
So
definitely 10.
guys, I'm sure we've all watched way too many TikToks about blind ranking guys in different ways. I feel like the 1 and the 10 spot are always what are left till the end, and then you end up putting someone really good in the 10 spot and someone not so good in the
We're
1.
just gonna wait to say Nunez until the 1.
He's going to be the only one we have left. and we're
Hold
gonna be-
on, Butch, do you already have these written down?
Leave the 10
I
out.
do.
Leave the 10 ready. We have to just have that for Nunez. 'Cause,
Okay.
Like, he's worse than
I think he's a 10. I think 10.
We'll go 10.
All right, 10 for Ward Browse. Next player is James Madison.
What numbers do we have available?
This is why I would have wanted
3.
Enzo at 6 because I think he'd
'Cause I
he'd
think-
be
I got
5.
really be 4, but I think he's
Well, you can't change it now.
Okay, right.
You have to put
So,
him 3
guys,
because he's better than
Pay
Bruno.
attention.
6.
in the last.
One, 2, 3, 6, 7, 9.
You guys messed
If we're
up.
talking about current form, he's been better than
messed
Bruno
up.
so
hand
far this
and
season.
fist, bro.
Yes.
Hand and fist.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going 6.
Yes.
And
that's why
I'm saying that
Bruno should
as
have
someone
been
who
6.
hates Tottenham more than
Dude,
any other
I'd say 6 too.
Because
you're
has
drunk.
To,
3.
now Madison has to be 3.
He's got to be 3.
He's still created like the most chances of anybody in Europe.
I'm totally okay if we would have fucked up. If
What's
we would have
the
put
timeline
Bruno
of
at 3 in the first, I would have been okay with
2-3
Madison as a
years?
4. But he's not going to be a 6.
No.
He's not going to be a
not
6. He's definitely
be
3.
He's
Gotta
not
be
3.
Got to be 3.
If we're talking current form, I'm gonna go 3
You
because
guys-
he's been
you guys-
unbelievable.
You guys put him at 3. When we're putting Erling Haaland.
Oh,
at
no,
6.
no, no. You guys put Bruno at 4 and forced us to put Madison at 3.
We put Enzo way too high.
We
No.
should have done Enzo to 6. That was the. Yeah,
Yeah,
3.
that's
So
Lock
I'm
it.
good with 3. I'm good with 3. I like
It's going to
my.
have to be a 3.
3.
Oh, he's
Okay.
been balling. He is Spurs right now.
All right. Your next player is Bukayo Saka.
This
should
is going to
take
be
his
controversial
man.
because I think he's 6.
I don't know.
I think he's better than Enzo.
2-1.
That's
He's definitely he's top 2. He's top 2. That's yeah.
I think
You
we
guys
leave
can talk,
2.
'cause I think he's so overrated.
Again, this is the exact same opposite side of the coin as
Nick
Wings.
hasn't watched a Premier League game in the last 3 years. I'm convinced.
no, I have.
Hen, what do you think?
I'm
hate
so
it.
torn right now. I'm pissed that we put Enzo at 5
I-
because so far he should be at 7.
That's why I picked Enzo.
I want to say
We 1, 2,
Here's the deal.
6, 7, 9.
here's the deal. I love Saka, and if you all want him to be number 1, fair.
No,
I think he's number 2.
There's
listen,
no chance.
listen. We haven't mentioned a single City player yet, so I know it's coming. So, like, you think about someone like a Ruben Diaz, who is not a winger, but he's. You think Ruben Diaz is a 9?
In this group we have, yeah, he's not 1 or 2. We can't put him 3, 4, or 5 now.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Henry.
How?
Yeah,
Henry, I'll give
he
you.
can't go
I'll give
one.
you a clue. There's no defenders on this list.
3, 4,
Oh,
5 already
okay.
going.
We
He's
need to
not 1 or
keep
2.
one of the top 2 spaces open for
He's
road
over
trade.
Saka.
What do we have? We have number we
1,
have 7
2,
available.
1, 2, 6, 7, 9.
7.
6.
I'm going for. If we're still on Saka, I'm going 2.
6.
All right, it's got to be a vote, Henry.
Why you make
I
me do
won't
this?
stand for that. That's outrageous.
He said 6.
2. Fuck me. Whatever.
All right, 2.
Nowhere at 1.
2.
Hoove, I appreciate that because I rooted for Matters.
I'll return it. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And that's the bitch of the blind rankings.
You're right.
There is.
All right, next player is Pedro Neto.
9.
9.
Easy.
Lock it.
Hafey 1.
9.
No.
If he belong to your,
Okay. Your next player is Mo Salah.
7.
7? Are you fucking dumb?
He doesn't have a say in
Not
this, though.
one.
To be fair.
but remember, shut your mouth.
Gotta
bro.
be 6.
I'm gonna say 6.
Gotta be 6.
We have 1, 6, and
That's
7
fair.
left.
I think
You're
that's
putting
fair.
Enzo over Mo, bruh.
Buddy, it's either that or we put Mo at 1. You just bragged about putting Enzo
You did. So you could have put
You
7
shut
first.
your
and we would have
mouth.
said
Yeah.
2.
You were
I
mad.
love this shit.
You
Mo
were
is
mad at
six.
your list.
All right,
6.
6.
Yeah.
How
Face.
badly did you want us to say first?
I'm so bad, bro. All right,
See, I told you guys he's the best
What do we have
player.
left? What do we have left? 1 and what?
your next player is Rodri.
1.
Oh no.
Right,
Yeah.
1.
On a
So-
red card.
So you're
Red card,
so,
Rodri.
Red card, Rodri, baby. All right, and this is not. I did not just write this down. It's been on my piece of paper. But your number 7 is Marcus Rashford.
Hey.
Wow.
So far this season.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm good.
Hey, okay, so read us 1 to 10.
I don't
Yeah.
hate this.
So hold on, before we go, Butch, I want to write down on here the order that we went for reference when we share it with everybody. So can you remind me? It was Enzo,
Enzo at 5.
Matoma. No, I know who he had. Just tell me the order that you told us. So it was Enzo, Matoma, JWP,
Yep.
Bruno Fernandes,
Yep.
Matters,
Matters.
Saka,
Pedro
Pedro Neto,
Salah.
Salah.
Rodri,
Rashford.
and Rashi. Okay.
Not a bad list, fellas.
It's not bad.
Pretty
Super
good.
talented.
I think the Enzo shot was a little high.
I think the only issue with this is that our middle 4 picks could have kind of gone anywhere, to be fair.
Yeah, totally.
honestly, 2 through 6
I say,
could have been rearranged, but I feel like the current form and probably Ward Prowse above Pedro Neto in my opinion.
Yeah.
But regardless, so with the blind rankings we had Rodri as a number 1, Saka 2, Matters 3, Bruno 4, Enzo 5, Mo Salah 6, Rashford 7, Matoma 8, Neto 9, and JWP 10. Just genuinely, boys, I feel like we did a pretty good job.
You guys did good, man.
So yeah, James Ward-Prowse has made Declan Rice's role look extremely easy. Like the team
Yeah.
had no change anyway. Yeah, he's the only one I would have changed. I may have taken him from 10 to 9 over Neto.
Yeah, same.
I think we did pretty good. I
Yeah,
think
I think it's pretty accurate.
All things considered. Well, fellas, Butch, I want that segment to come back. That's a great segment on a blind
I
ranking.
enjoyed
That was
that.
sick.
We got to open it up to the rest of the world too. Like I want to have like a random Jude Bellingham thrown in there and have to rank that with all of the world. So put Klauss in there. You know, you never know what's
Sure.
going to come.
World midfielders, world strikers, or world
Joel
attackers.
Klauss.
A lot of opportunity there.
Well, fellas, that's it for us. Congrats on another episode. Congrats to St. Louis City, as we've said numerous times throughout this podcast. Can't wait to watch us ball again for the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. Let's bring home a title. Follow us on all of our social medias. Thank you for listening. We have our TikTok, we have our Instagram, our Twitter. We're coming at you again next week. And with that being said, cheers, fellas. Good job.
Cheers,
Roll
boys.
That's